I said, I think I'm going to give this a shot. So my two sons played hockey, and while they were in practice, I'd take my notebook and scribble stuff down. That was the only time I really had to write then.
Right.
So it turned into a book.
So what year was this that you started?
That was 1998, but it took me a few years to write it. So I was published in 2001. Yeah.
Wow.
So a good portion of 30 Years in September was written in a rink, hockey rink.
And the title of the first book?
30 Years in September, and the title comes from when I finished the book. It had been 30 years from beginning when I started nursing school to that point.
I see.
Yeah, so that's how I came up with the title.
So it's just the first book is the nurse's memoir. Is that right? 30
yeah,
years.
It's sad, it's funny, it's political. It's a lot of personal things I discuss in it about my life and how I transformed and changed. And you know, I had my own addictions when I was younger, so you know, I talk about that. I'm very honest. So it was very healing to write.
I bet it was.
Yeah, it was. It was very good. And then you know, once I got the bug of writing, I wanted to continue. So I wrote my second book, Loving Joe Gallucci, which is it's a true love story, but it's based on the hepatitis C virus. And it involves a girl I went to nursing school with and her husband, and their crazy, tumultuous relationship. And he got hepatitis C and needed a liver transplant.
Right.
So the story's about them and what a family goes through with a long-term illness, because it's, as you know, being a nurse, it's not just the patient who's affected, it's the whole family.
Whole family, right.
So it kind of describes all that. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you're bringing your nursing experience into at least the first two of the three books.
Yes.
And what about the third?
Well, the third book, 2 weeks since my last confession.
Let's hold it up and get a close-up of that so people can see it.
Yeah, this is 336 pages. When I finished it.
Hold it straight up there. There we go.
Can you see it? When I finished it, it was like 600 pages. And I had to really knock it down. But it was, it really was hard writing this because, you know, I like to write about things that have to do with issues and what people are going through and dealing with in their own lives. And being a school nurse, I got in touch with a lot of young kids that were abused. And I decided that that's part of what I was going to write about. So 2 weeks since my last confession has really impacted my life. I don't know how much it's going to impact the reader's life, but it changed me. I had to do so much research, and it focuses on two of the characters. It's about a large Irish Catholic political family. You know, in the 50s, which they were all over the place. I mean, I was Irish, Scottish Catholic, so there was large families everywhere in those days, and no such thing as birth control.
No.
So there's 8 children, and it goes back and forth between two of them, Molly and Sean O'Brien. So it just goes back and forth to these two really dysfunctional characters in their family and what happens to them.